Another day, another thought. Welcome on to another edition of the Double Thought Show. Hope everyone is doing amazing. As you guys know, I'm RJ here together with my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man?
What's up, everyone?
Right, all right. Hey, thanks to everyone that's watching this pre-recorded live show as well as those watching the rebroadcast. We have a good one for you today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show.
Yes. Before we continue with the show, which is basically today business centered, we will be, of course, discussing the regular, what we always do at this part. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button down under, hit that like button. Really helps us get the videos out to more people. It gets also better traction. So guys, we're trying to spread the word so you can help with us by
Yes.
spreading the
Spreading the gospel.
yes sir. So press on that like button. What you also can do is follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Double Thought Show, where we basically we post not post post the reels and also announce topics we will be discussing. So, guys, press on that follow button on Instagram and Facebook. We also see that a lot of you guys are not subscribed yet. About 95% of you guys rewatch our clips or our videos and still haven't subscribed. So, we want to encourage you guys to press on that follow or that no the follow the subscribe button if you're interested in updates and commentary on this topic. RJ, we're trying to reach a goal, right?
Yes, definitely. Because here on the Double Touch Show, your hosts have goals in their lives. And the goal
I don't
specific.
know. Speak for yourself. I'm in my
Well,
mama's basement still, but okay.
if I have to believe that, then yeah, one of us does. It's a single thought. But yeah, guys, on a more serious note, we want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of June of this year. So we have approximately 6 weeks to go. We are seeing a rise in subscriptions, a rise in activities as well, mostly because we've been adding shorts to the equation as well. But we do need your assistance to reach 1,000 subs. And what do I mean by that? As we have said in previous shows, we've noticed that approximately 90% of you who watch and rewatch the show do not subscribe or aren't subscribed yet. And maybe maybe the algorithm pushes the videos so you can see it, so you don't really need see the importance of that. But trust us, guys. Your subscription, you subscribing to the channel means a lot to us because it helps us get to our first goal, which is to get monetized. When we're monetized, when this channel can start gaining uh, more revenue, when we can start getting revenue from this channel, we will be able to invest more in the production of the channel as well. For those of you who've been with us from the start, you've seen the show grow. There are a couple of very great updates coming up next, so stay tuned. But this, you guys, you subscribing is very important to us. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel.
Yes, sir. So subscribe if you like the commentary and also want to receive the updates. Don't forget to press on that notification bell. Always very important. And of course, what we always say here at the Double Touch Show, share the video with your friends, family, maybe your favorite podcast host. Maybe share it with your neighbor. And if that neighbor is your enemy, you should share it as well with your enemies. So you can share your chair with them. Anyway, guys, just wanted to keep the it going. Anyway, RJ, you have a disclaimer for us.
Yes, yes, guys. Before we proceed, the usual disclaimer. As you guys know, the views and opinions shared in the articles, videos, and documents we discuss on our channel do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of the Double Touch Show, KR, nor myself. Remember that we discuss everything for entertainment purposes only. All commentary, or at least the viewer discretion is advised, and all commentary is alleged because here on the Double Touch Show, we don't know anything. Furthermore, if you require assistance in a particular area in your life, be it life, uh, legal advice, financial advice, or any kind of advice, we strongly urge you to seek the assistance of the professionals in the respective area in which you require assistance. For everything else relating to entertainment, we welcome you to the Double Thought Show.
Yes, yes, yes. And as we always say, the Double Touch Show.
Bora! Hora do show!
It's showtime. Guys, in today's show, we will be focusing on Rich Paul. Rich Paul. Some people might know, some don't. After this show, we hope to have given you shared a couple of things about him so you know, and maybe you can check him out and also learn a thing or two from the guy. I mean, he's very successful in the field he's in right now. He's actually dominating the field. I mean, RJ will, of course, later in the show talk a little bit about him. And then we're going to take a look at his latest visit to the Interval podcast, where he basically broke down the deals or how he does business and how he tries to help athletes both during their career and after their career. Ajay, you have something to say?
Yes, well, as you said, the Rich Paul is a very interesting person. He belongs to the crew of LeBron James. Perhaps you guys might have known. I mean, something
Oh
tells me
no,
you guys.
well,
Something tells me
LeBron
you
James,
guys.
who's LeBron? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So one of so they know each other for a long time. You also have a Maverick Carter, and it's a very small group, a tight group that LeBron has. But what's interesting about LeBron James's crew is that compared to a majority of crews of posses uh, in his LeBron's crew, it seems like all the people he so that was in his circle, he took with them to the next level, but didn't he didn't have to drag them because
Babysitter.
babysitter because each one of them have turned out to be key, uh, let's say, people by themselves.
Mm.
Of course, LeBron James provided the way, but you have one of them who is more in the media side, the other one is more in the
Management.
agent side, etc., etc. You also have.
Basically, what you're trying to say, RJ, sorry that I'm interrupting, that LeBron is basically like Double Touch Show.
But I can only show you the door.
Yeah.
And he showed them the door and they walked through it.
Yes, yes. So that's pretty impressive. What to see, because usually it's the other way around, right? Usually you have the star and everyone wants to guilt trip the star into giving them money. But in this case, these people have proven to be assets for LeBron.
It's not
Yeah,
liability.
assets for LeBron. And yeah, we're gonna check out an interesting interview that Rich Paul did in the uh, like maybe a week ago. What's the podcast name? This maybe good to mention the channel as well.
Interval presents.
Yeah, interval. Yeah, Interval presents. Go check out the full interview. We really encourage it. It's a very good discussion. But here in today's show, we will just talk about the
It's
some highlights that were pretty noteworthy to us.
yeah. So it's basically Elliot Wilson who's doing the interview. Also known from Rap Radar, and also well, I mean he's a well known journalist. I mean he's basically the founder of Rap Radar, and but he's also been doing interviews for the longest. He's like a I mean, he's what probably one of the most well known interviewers in hip hop in general, and he's interviewed. I mean, tons of well known people throughout the years, from Jay Z, Drake, Marty J. Blige. So yeah, it's an interesting interview, and it's always fun to watch his interviews. So guys, let's see. I think we can.
Where do we begin?
Okay, where do we begin? So, yes, Rich Paul, RJ, maybe you can tell us a couple of things about them before we watch the clips.
Yes, yes. Okay, so Rich Paul is as we said, part of the circle of LeBron James. He he wasn't a childhood friend of LeBron James. I think Maverick Carter was a childhood friend. He's one of the other people in his circle. But Rich Paul met LeBron in 2002. He was selling jerseys from his truck. You know, the old school way. I don't know if do they still do that, Kier?
I think there's always someone in the hood who's selling a hustler, a real hustler, with the core sense. There's always people who still are selling either CDs or T-shirts. You know.
Yeah. So, but LeBron, the reason why, so they met each other in 2002, LeBron and
Mm.
Rich Paul did. Uh, at that point, LeBron James was still in high school, but he saw a jersey of uh, Rich Paul. He was wearing a jersey. It was a Warren Moon throwback jersey, and he was impressed. So he started talking, and they exchanged information. And a few days later, or maybe a couple of months later, I don't know the exact time frame, but he sold uh, LeBron James some jerseys. So they had contact. They kept in contact. In 2003, LeBron James was drafted, and Rich Paul basically joined the team. He's joined the circle with his other, and joined, let's say, the other friends, right? And as things were going, LeBron James is not only a very good basketball player, but he's also a very good business person, as a businessman.
It's a great business mind. Yes.
Yeah. And what he did was he opened a lot of doors. So he wanted to enter into different ventures. And one of the ventures they entered into was Clutch Sports. I'm not entirely clear as to, let's say, the way the stakes are divided. So whether whether LeBron and Rich are co-owners, or co-shareholders or whatever. So I don't know that specifics, guys. If you can tell us something about it, please put it in the comments. But for the purpose of this show, it's not that important. What's important is that Rich Paul was so Clutch, and the one Clutch Sports Group was established, and that's basically an agency for players. And the first agent was Rich Paul, and the first client was, at least the first and biggest client, was LeBron James. And of course, at the beginning, people thought, yeah, of course, LeBron, you're gonna put your friend there, and he's your agent. But we really know that that's not the case. You're the one making the decisions. He's just the face, but it's not legit. But gradually, Rich Paul started to get first smaller names, and then he started getting bigger names. And he became a threat to the existing powers, right? The existing agents. So much so that the the they wanted to introduce a rule that said that an agent needs to have at least a bachelor's degree in order to be an agent and to be able to represent someone in the NBA. They did it because Rich Paul didn't have a bachelor's degree. So it even that's why, for that reason, it became known as the Rich Paul rule. It was clearly because they felt intimidated by Rich Paul. Now that's
Actually, I don't think it was because they felt intimidated by him. They were intimidated about the others who will follow him because he was already an agent. So if he would open that door, a lot of people will walk through it. So
yeah,
it's probably more.
but at that point, so the reason why it was called the Rich Paul rule was because it was evident who they were
Yes,
targeting.
yes, I
It
do
was
agree with you
it
in
was
that.
evident who they were targeting, and I think it was. I mean, two things can be correct at the same time.
That is
It
also
was it was probably to avoid people like that in the future. But KR, if
more like
Rich
that.
Paul wasn't popping, no one would have cared. The rule
Yeah,
only
listen.
came the rule only came when he started making the moves. So at this particular point in time, he has a bigger team, so it keeps growing. But guys, if you look at the names, he is also of the players he is covering in the NBA. Just some notable names: Anthony Davis, who is currently playing with LeBron James in the Lakers. You have De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings, Darius Garland, and Colin Sexton of Cleveland Cavaliers. You also have Trey Young. That's he's an assassin in the playing for the Atlanta Hawks, and so on and so more. You have Dejounte Murray, Montrezl Harrell, Aaron Gordon, Draymond Green, bunch of names. But they've even ventured into the NFL. Some notable names. Of course, you have Jalen Hurts. I think that's the biggest name. You have Chase Young, Devontae Smith. Of course, those of you who are Patriots fans, we have one here on the channel. Uh, I'm not gonna say who it is, but he's not wearing black and orange. Christian Barmore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Quinnen Williams, just to name a few. And the list keeps on growing. With regards to Jalen Hurts as well, KR pointed out because KR pointed out to me because he is more of an NFL player than I am. He's not an NFL player. He's more of an
Good
NFL.
thing I'm not an NFL player, otherwise it would be anyway.
If you are an NFL player, if you're an NFL player now, you will be referred to as a previous NFL player once the season starts. But so the Clutch Sports as a group also made news when an agent of Clutch Sports, who is Miss Lynn, forgot what her first name is, but a female, represented Jalen Hurts as an agent. So what that shows is that the Clutch Sports Group is not your traditional sports agency. They are breaking barriers and trying to bring in a new norm. And you see they are catching on and I think they'll be growing a lot for the coming years because they just started.
Well,
That
they just started. They've been here for a long time, though. So what is just started in your 10 years is a lot of time, though.
that's just started. The agents, we're
Mm.
talking about agencies. Is
Okay.
in a business, 10 years is
But,
nothing.
the agencies come and go.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
the yeah, continue.
No, no, no. Continue. You can finish up, or you did you close off your
Yeah, yeah,
introduction?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, guys. So it's clear that Rich Paul is a pretty good businessman. They have a list of high A-list players, and of course, with A-list players come out. There is a reason why these A-list players choose a particular agency because either they are aligning perfectly with the player's goals, or they are, and in addition, they are, of course, they're able to help the players during their career. I mean, that's the number one thing you want, and also maybe after. I mean, we will look at that during this breakdown of the podcast interview. So let's start with the first part of this interview, where they talk about the following.
It causes you to build bad habits, right? Just simple things, right? I came in here and I said, you know what? I was probably about a minute behind or 2 minutes behind when I should have been here. That's late.
In your book, yeah.
That's late in my book.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that. The
Yes,
first
sir.
thing I said to
Yes,
you
sir.
was, I apologize for being a few minutes late. Obviously, sunset is what it is. And, you know, whatever the excuse may be,
Yeah.
I led with that
Yes, sir.
because I have an appreciation for your time and everyone else's time that's here with this specific production. They don't teach the athlete that, right? My thing is, if I text you, you should text me back.
Yeah.
Because if you text me and I don't text you back, you have an issue with that.
Yeah, so he's basically talking here about, I mean, basic social skills. I mean, arriving on time. When people text you, you text back. Anything?
No, I think. Well, yes, I think in business, you when you're in business or when you're doing business, I think you get, or you're when you're a very busy person, especially, you start valuing your time more. And time is the only thing that someone can't get back, right? You can get money back to a certain extent. You can you can lose a car, get a new car, whatever, but your time you can never get it back. So to me, especially me being a lawyer, so I bill by the hour, by time is the most important thing. And I don't have time to waste it on things that are not important because I have important and sometimes important and urgent matters to attend to. And so with every choice I have to make a decision whether or not it will be in the benefit or not of what I want to do. So, or what I have to do, because the last thing you want to do as a busy person that has a lot of things to do is to waste time with something that is not important and get stuck with something that is important. So how do you show someone or other people that you value their time? You get early, as Rich Paul said. You get early, not on
What
time,
is
but
early?
well, if you have to believe Deion Sanders, if you're on time, you're late. Early is 15 minutes before the time that you need to be there.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends. It depends what occasion. A party is different, of course. But if you have a meeting, an appointment, it always show good. It first of all, it only shows that you value the importance because you come on time. So that already tells the person you're meeting with, hey, this person is on time. It's a good sign, first of all.
Mhm.
But second of all, if you focus on getting there 15 minutes earlier and something happens along your way there, there's traffic or whatever, you have a 15-minute buffer, which means that you would still be able to make it on time. Well, if you're trying to get there exactly at the time where you need to be there, the chances are that you'll get there later. So it shows someone, especially someone that values their time. Hey, this person values my time. I took the time to message that person. Let that person that this person is messaging me back. It shows me that he values my time.
Clear, clear, clear. Let's see what else he has to say about building good and bad habits.
Right?
Very true.
But because you feel like you're paying me, I should be waiting on you. But life don't work like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you build a business, because they're all businesses, I have a business too. I have people that work with me that I pay as well. Our time is important, just as important as your time.
Yeah.
And so I try to educate and push that. And it don't work for everybody right away. It don't sink in for everybody right away.
But you said like because everyone's so used to people, if you're at a young age viewed as special.
Yeah, I think it also has to do with partially not only the athlete aspect, but also the aspect of basically the how they've been brought up. It also has an influence in that, right? The speed in which they will accept certain things, or at least trying to teach them how to be on time and how to deal with other people, because you're a business, and when people basically see that you're not respecting their time, they're like, you know what? I'll think he's no, or they say he's a difficult person to deal with.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think it has to do with um, education. You have two types of education, right? You have at least you have upbringing and education.
Upbringing, yeah, I was about to say.
And upbringing, being on time, learning how to speak with people, socializing, that has more to do with your upbringing than it has to do with your schooling, right? With your education. And you can have the school, you can be a great player. You can be someone, maybe not even in sports. You can be someone that does good in school and in college. But in the real world, KR, in the world of business, in the real world, your upbringing can have a bigger is a bigger indicator of how you will function in society than your education.
Okay.
The education only tells you that you went to an institution and that you passed the tests of the institution. That's what it tells you. It doesn't mean that you're a good doctor or a good lawyer. It means it just means that the tests they gave you, you were able to pass them. But when you get to a law firm, you get to a accounting firm, you work in a fabric, or you play sports, your soft skills are important. How you talk to people? Are you likable or not? Do people want to uh, help you? Do people want to see you grow, or are you annoying people? Those are the things that matter. And being on time is something that is crucial. If you're late for work a couple of times, you might get fired. So it's something that cannot be stressed enough. Upbringing is more important, and you can try to teach someone, let's say at a later age, and it's still possible, but it will become more difficult to do so.
Yes, it is, because I mean, as he's gonna as he's going to break it down himself, players have heard a lot of good things about themselves, so they start believing it. Let's take a look.
Like, because everyone's so used to people. If you're at a young age viewed as special, people are telling you yes all the time. They're trying
All the
to elevate
time.
you. Yeah.
All the time. And it's simple things, right, in life. And we learn through experience. We learn through our parents, our grandparents. Just look at a guy's locker, right? If you go into a locker room and the guy's locker is junky,
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee their house is the same way,
Right.
right? Because it's just the habits.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to get to where I'm getting to. So you got those two aspects, very simple, detailed things. In the event their house is like that, what do you think their business acumen is going to be like?
What do you think?
Not well, just like their house, right?
Messy.
Because yeah, I mean, and it's the saying that goes, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I understood what the saying meant when I was younger, but the older I get, the more I understand. So I understand it at a deeper level. I see it. You can see it. You can have an employee who comes to work looking very nice, sharp, well dressed. But if that person is chaotic in his or her head, his or her performance and results will also be messy. It will also have unnecessary mistakes and things of that nature. So it starts with order. So it's the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Yeah. I mean, that also goes for if you go to someone's home and you can clearly see, like you said, they don't have everything in order. I think there's someone said, was I don't know if it's Jordan Peterson, but the way your home, or at least the rooms in your home are is basically a reflection of your mental, or how structured you are,
Mhm.
and it's basically it boils down to the same thing. Like, it's you clearly see that someone might not be as structured as it could get messy. Let's put it that way in the future. I mean, whether it's a partner you want, someone who you want to date, or someone you want to do business with, or someone who's your friend, they might get you caught up in certain things,
Yeah.
and you can
But-
see it. It's small details. It's
Yeah.
just small details. How do you say? Small things compound at a certain point.
Yeah, snowball effect.
Snowball effect. How you want to? It's the same thing, but
Yeah. I think that discipline is not the default. This is just what I think, because discipline comes from within. Nature, not nature. The way of least resistance is to just
chaos.
It's chaos, yeah. But order requires discipline. Order requires doing things sometimes that you don't want to do to get what you want to get. Look at the some an athlete, a who any high achiever. They do things that they don't want to do. Perhaps they want to stay in the morning, they want to stay in bed next to their significant other, but they know that they need to wake up to go to work, so they do it. Children, and I forgot who said it, children do what they want to do, grown-ups do what they have to do. And I really believe that. So discipline is putting in that extra work when no one is watching, saying no to things that you might want to do, but you have to say no to in order to reach your goals. And I believe that that order will manifest itself in so you have to judge someone not by what they say, but by the fruits of their labor. And the locker, your house, your car,
Car. Oh my God.
they are they're those are the fruits of your labor. Yeah.
I think there is a video on a clip on YouTube of someone showing someone else's car. Um, it's called like an exotic dancer. It seems like she was basically recording that person's car. You see roaches, all
Mm.
kinds of animals in a Audi. It was crazy, but it's a reflection. If that's her car, I don't want to see the home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've seen people using their car as a dumpster almost. You see all those things. There's sometimes you see people's car and you're like, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know if I want to see what's
yeah,
where you live actually, or maybe you're living in the car. I'm not sure.
yeah,
But if you're living in the car, please make it at least as comfortable if you are. If you're not living in a car, then your house is probably the same because you don't have structure or you don't have
yeah.
well, you haven't you're not managing the inner chaos in you.
Uh, and it says also something to stick to the current analogy of a car. It says a couple of things. If the car is an Audi and inside there are roaches, it says that the person cares more for
That
cares
is
more about what other people think than himself. So what he thinks of himself, that's the first thing. But the other thing is that the car will probably break down at some point, because a person that doesn't take care of the interior probably wouldn't take care of the engine and the other things of the car either, as long as they don't manifest itself. So he probably will not do
Can you hear me?
yeah, can you hear? Yeah.
I cannot hear you, so I'm gonna
Okay,
leave and
cool.
come back. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Continue talking in the meanwhile.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry. So as I was saying, the person, when you're actually being, let's say you're orderly, you make sure that not only that the car is washed from the outside and on the inside, but you also take care of, the mechanics, right? The what's under the hood of the car. You also make sure to make your regular appointments to check the car out to see if everything's working as it should. So a person that does not take care of the interior of its car, his or her car, will probably not take care of what's under the hood of the car either, and consequently, the car will break down. Moral of the story is you need to check your so you need to take care of, yeah, let's say you first, the inside first, before you can pour into others. Because if you pour into others first, you care more about other people's first, and you don't care about yourself, you don't love yourself, eventually your engine will break down.
Do you hear me
Bars.
again?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear the audio, so please, I'm gonna play the audio real quick to do a check. Can you hear it?
I can't hear it, but I have a solution. If we can try it from my end.
You should hear it now. Let me try again.
And you know, it's simple
Yes.
things, right?
Yeah, it's. I don't know what's wrong with my system, but it keeps clipping. Anyway, good. Let's continue with with Rich Paul's interview.
Could be as messy as the room, right? Messy as
Now, when you say messy, don't talk to me about I make a lot of money, because I don't really give a shit about that. Right? And we've been tricked with that for so long. That's the trick.
Yeah.
I make a lot of money. I made you a lot of money. You got a lot of money. Whoop-de fucking do, right?
Right.
We get that part.
Whoop-de-doo, we all get money. Can you continue getting money? Because I think he's talking about what he's trying to say. It's the longevity. I mean, because you're making money as a athlete right now, you have those bad habits, doesn't mean that after your career as an athlete, you can continue making that money. I think that's what he's trying to point out here, RJ.
Yes. Continuity. Yes and no. I do think. I think partially that's what he means, but another thing that plays a role is how much are you getting. So are you reaching your potential? It's impossible to reach your potential if you have too many leakages. I know, for example, companies that have existed for 50 years, but the owner is a gambler. So their whole business model is they pay people bad. The conditions aren't optimal, but they're just enough for him to live large. So he could upgrade. He could, let's say, let the company make more money, but he'd rather gamble. So he just needs enough cash flow so he can supply his addiction,
His vices.
his vices. No, it's an addiction. He has an addiction. So he just needs.
Okay.
So, the company at this point, the company is not doing so good, or the company hasn't been doing that good for the last 3-4 years. But it's enough. He gets enough cash flow to finance his lifestyle. So that's good enough. But when you look at him, you look at his company, you can see that it's not someone that is necessarily stewarding his belongings the way he should, or at least in an optimal way. But it's good enough for him. So of course, in certain situations, you can think of the continuity, whether you can run a business. Let's say every business has a start and ending. So that's not necessarily the thing. But maybe you can be a millionaire, but you're sitting in perhaps you have a revenue of 1 million, but you're actually sitting on a company that has the potential to reach 25 million revenue every year, but you don't do it. But to you, you're rich, so you have your Audi with cockroaches in it, so you're like, yeah, I'm balling, I don't need anything. But That's how I interpret it.
Okay. Let's see what else he has to say.
But what about the other things that it takes to be a great partner?
Mm.
Okay? Because on one hand, you're going to say to me, I want this, 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 and this. But on the other hand, there's things outside of your talent that affects my capabilities to come through for you.
Mm.
And we're a team. We're a team. So this is the conversation that I'm having.
Yeah.
I don't know what other conversation guys is having with their guys.
Yes.
But this is the conversation I'm having. And when you're young, sometimes it go through one ear out the other. It doesn't get to everybody. When you're pitching somebody and I don't really pitch, I don't have nothing to sell. But when you're in front of a family, this is not the sexy conversation, especially when someone has come in and put up something of your son in front of a BMW or a Benz, and it's like we got
all the cheers.
But those deals don't even exist. But you're getting full from that candy. We can get full from candy, or we can get full from, broccolini, a nice piece of Dover sole, and a roasted potato.
Yes, sir.
Two different meals, right? But
More
we
filling.
can, more filling.
Empty calories.
Empty calories.
Yes, yes.
The particular business I'm not gonna name, which anyway, continue. We all know the empty calories that are being sold over the world. So yeah. So I mean, people come in and sell you all these great dreams as an athlete. Before the draft, you get, hey man, I'm gonna make sure you're making 10 million a year. Making sure, that's the key word right here.
Yeah.
As soon as you're signed, you're like, where's the making sure?
Yeah.
You get bad, or at least subpar representation. They don't help you in the personal life, or not enough. There's a lot of things that come into having a good agent. And I think that's what he's trying to say here. You're getting sold a dream, and down the road, you'll find out that road is a one-way road.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. Yeah, definitely. And
the Elm Street.
and what's interesting is, and guys, if you haven't checked it out, really strongly urge you to check out the live show if you're interested, because it's very interesting. Or not the live show, I mean the interview, the full interview.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting one. But what's also interesting is the way he approaches the players. He doesn't promise them things. He doesn't only focus on the money aspect, but he also focuses on the upbringing aspect as well, right? The etiquettes, the soft skills. He checks them as well. You have some people out there who just tell you what you want to hear. Those aren't your friends. He's someone that he will tell you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to figure this, you need to figure that out. And you can see that he goes the extra mile, right? He cares for the person. So part of the service they provide is caring, showing that they care for the person as well. Usually an agent is only focused on getting the money now, so the agent can get his commission. But he's saying, think of the future as well. What are you going to do with your money? Don't do this. So it's a different type of support that he stresses, and that Clutch Sports apparently stresses as well, which makes them stand out from the traditional competitors.
Yes.
A lot, because and by the way, if you've been told you the best thing since sliced bread and that only, you may not feel like it. Why? I can do it when I get ready.
Right.
But again, we all have American Express cards.
Mhm.
That don't happen. That it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so just trying to help these guys get through the actual playing years and really focus on life and what that entails, because it don't make no sense to make the money if after you done playing you have all these bad habits and you don't really know how to live and you don't really have infrastructure in place, and more importantly you don't have a mindset that allows you to think clearly and be able to identify when I'm doing something that's off kilter.
Yeah.
Right? We see it all the time.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, this helps you choose the right partner, because that's people don't understand. These guys deal with so much, and the only thing the money does is put a band-aid over a open wound. And as you know,
I think it's very important to go back and just highlight one thing you said. It's the habits. Bad habits compound. Basically, you have bad habits during your career. With that money, I think there's also a stat out there, right? Um, Athletes blow their money within 5 years after their retirement. Why is that? That's basically what
On
he's
average.
talking- on average, yeah, of course. There are outliers. Some of them do it within a year, but uh, but what he's trying to basically tell you is how do you actually build up good habits that will make you also successful not only during your career but also after, because guys, the average career in the NFL is, I think, less than 5 years or something like that, um, due to either injuries or whatever, or just production value going down. I don't know what the average career is in the NBA. Maybe you know more about that, RJ. But
No, I don't know what the average career is. In the
these
NBA.
guys gotta make the bulk of the money other people make over 50 years usually. They gotta make it within that time frame, and that's with those skills. But those skills are not the same skills you use after the career. So basically, you tailored your skill set for a time span that's about maybe 5 to 10 years, and then after that, well, it's basically also with soccer, football, right? It's also 10 years or something like that on average. So you have a certain time span in which you will make the bulk of the money you will have for the rest of your life, or the high earning aspect of that. So you have to develop the skills of which you will use after the career. And I think this is a great way to change that stat. And possibly the more people will sign up, I mean, this is basically how he does business. It's how the market usually works, right? If someone brings out or releases a great product, what the competition will do is, if it's seeing everyone flocking to that product, hey, maybe we have to change the service we provide as well. And you
Yeah.
will see others caring more, or maybe doing more than only providing a monetary value for the time spent of the career, you know?
Yeah. It's either that or break the other. So it's either do better or break the other company. Try to
Yeah, but
break the
the
other
thing
company.
is this: you got it's like it's impossible to break it anymore. It's like Apple, right? Apple offers a certain service that's very different than, products that are very different than Microsoft. They are getting big because they are giving their products are maybe better, according to some people. Maybe they are marketed better, but at the end, it doesn't matter how hard um Microsoft works to break or try to penetrate the market with certain products, Apple will have the upper hand because they have a better product. And I think probably it's the same with Rich Paul. They've been here for 10 years now. Everyone knows their business mindset, the way their vision for the people who sign with them. And we should be seeing the first few guys that are exiting their career. We should see the results now. And if the results are good, it will only go up after this. That's how I see it. But you have something to say?
No, not necessarily, but I can. So I have something to say, but I wasn't going to say something.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds quite. I
Confusing.
have something to say, but I wasn't going to say it. Anyway.
No, so I have thoughts, but I don't know if you're finished. That's what I meant to say. Then you finish.
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm finished. I'm finished.
Yeah. So what you said is, I agree with that. I agree that we will see the results. I would argue that we're seeing the results already. Just look at the amount of players that are active players that are currently doing things on the side, either involved in business ventures or podcasting. Especially the podcasting, they're working on their image. Draymond Green, for example, of the Warriors, he has his own podcast. He has his own show.
Mm-hmm.
During the playoffs, he would just go and give his immediate immediate reaction to something to a game he just played in. So that's something that we haven't seen before, because usually, or in the past, it was you're either a player, and after you finish playing, you go do something else. You enter into commentary, you become a journalist, or you become a coach, or you become a whatever. But now you see people are gradually doing more and more things from the while they're playing. They are working on their brands, they are investing, but not only that, they come out and they talk about the importance of investing as well, and of financial management. That's also something we haven't seen before a couple of years ago. That when interviewed, these people will say, yeah, I put my money here, I put my money there. I think the OG of that, I would say, is Ocho Cinco, who is known for being extremely frugal.
Chad Johnson, also. That's what it is.
Yes. Chad
Also
Johnson.
known as Chad Ochocinco, yes.
Yeah. Did he change it back to Johnson?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I don't know. But
And that's the brand, right? That's the brand. I mean, everyone knows him as Ochocinco still.
yeah,
Legend, by the way. But
yeah. So, but he did it. He said it, and you see more and more people saying it. I don't spend my money on stupid things. I save my money, and so when we see that mindset of players coming in, knowing what happened to a lot of players beforehand, they might feel more connection with a sport agency that thinks like them, that their philosophy is like their philosophy, that wants them to, to stay great and become perhaps greater after sports, than the traditional agents that would just focus on the contracts, and once that's done, basically you're done until the next
no, but
until
not
your next
also
negotiation.
that. If your career is done, okay, sayonara. Don't forget that part as well.
Oh yeah, you mean that they're not there for you anymore?
Yes, that's what I mean with we should see the results now
Mm,
after 10 years, because some of those guys who have signed early on with them probably are right now at the end of their career. So we should be seeing the transition as well after career. I mean, like you said, there are a lot of guys, of course, who are working on their brand during their career, which is great. But the important thing is what will happen after. Can they continue all these habits that Rich Paul and his team has been working with these athletes on? Or these will we see the results for these guys? That's what and if these results are good, it will like I said, it will only go up. There's you cannot stop it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see what else he has to.
That
Looks just
that
like
looks
us.
like he. It's still
Thank you,
still
Randy.
not where it should be. It's
I
not.
read that you said like with the windfall NBA wealth comes with the black tax. What is that black tax? What does that look like?
Well, unfortunately, everyone quits. Everyone, there's an ecosystem that we live with, but everyone can't be in the section with me, right? I need a barber. I need a housekeeper. I need a driver. I need security more than ever.
Yeah.
I need security. I need just a quarterback, someone to quarterback certain things. But if you only want to be responsible for the doing, and if you're only looking for the credit, then you're probably, because in that case, you lack the experience. And so therefore, you're not going to be put in that position, right? And then what happens is what they say I do, which is I don't. People say, oh, well, if you go with them, he's going to drive a wedge and you're not going to get, no, because if you go with us, you're going to get the truth. And if the truth hurts, then you have to look in the mirror, not me. You got to look in the mirror, right? Because by the way, I lived it. I have everything that these young people next to the athlete want to do and want to accomplish. I have it on DVD. I took every step. I did everything. I carried the shoe. By the way, I'm the CEO of the company. I'll carry the gym bag right now today.
Yeah, you say you
Give a
live in
shit
the
about
gym.
that.
You go to the gym. It's not an
Yeah,
office.
I'll
thing for you.
carry the gym bag with the client's shoes in the gym bag to the car right now today, because this is what I do, right? And so at the end of the day, that's what I meant by that. Everyone around you quit. Who told you to quit your job? Because I made it. It don't work like that. Mom and dad, fantastic. Depend on your family structure and depend on how much money you made. You're getting in. Okay, that has to last you you got to multiply that or divide that times 45. That has to last you over the next 45 years. Most people don't make their money till they're 50, in a real way.
Yeah.
Right? These guys are 20. I have clients that sign $200 million contracts. They're 22. Right? And so it's a lot on them, man. It's a lot on them. But as you can see and hear in my tone, I really care about it. And
I mean, it's to finish off what he said. It really sounds like he cares. Yes,
Yeah.
and also, I mean, it's really about basically building these guys up. Anything you want to say other than that?
I think he basically reiterates what we said about the importance of being or at least of caring for Clutch Sports and for him carrying gym bags. He's not above anything else. He is humble, and that level of realness is appreciated by the players, by the different players that have signed with Clutch Media Sports, big names. And again, of course, that's what I meant to say, that they will try to break you if they can't compete with you. So they will do two things. When you have competitors in business, either they will try to break you or they will try to compete with you, or they would have to compete with you. And they tried breaking him, with the other his peers, the competitors, would say, yeah, don't go there because if you're there, you're going to be put in the shadows because LeBron is more important than you, and what LeBron wants will happen, and you know you don't want to go there because there would be a conflict of interest, etc., etc. But I think more and more players will look at Clutch Sports and they will look at how the players that are signed to Clutch Sports talk to each other and how they engage with each other, and they might say, you know what, I want to be part of that group, that family. I think that's what Rich Paul has done an amazing job in.
At the end, it's about the results.
Yes.
Look at the other agents and look at how, not during their career, but also after. I mean, this is what Rich Paul is talking about. It's not only during career, it's after. Look at the other agents and look at the people they represented and how they are doing in general. And then you can weigh in, which one is better. I mean, to be honest, basically what he's saying, the yes man stuff, everyone is quitting. Everyone quits their job, and suddenly you have to, because you're now the millionaire, you're the one who has to
Carry them.
finance them,
Yeah.
buy everyone in the family or every friend you have a new car. Life doesn't work like that, because at a certain point, that money, you will need it.
Yeah.
The money fountain sometimes will dry up. And you
Yeah.
don't want to be the one with the desert at the end, because no one is going to bring you the water after. Ooh.
Bars.
See. Bars. I need to find the bars right there. And final video. Let's see what he has to say about his business and
About the next 10 years.
The next
we're
10
gonna be
years.
here. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
We'll continue to strengthen that foundation and come through for the guys and be there when they're up and be there when they're down.
You definitely disrupted the foundation. Do you feel like the system was threatened by you when they implemented the Rich Paul rule?
Oh yeah, but
That's your own rule, Rich.
but you know what? Again, people talk about that all the time. As much as it was about me, it was more so, okay, one slipped through the cracks. We got to worry about the other 100. So I felt like that was about that. That was a discouraging position that they were trying to put people in. And again, you can be from the best institution in the world and not be great in this business, right? Because you can be book smart and not have people skills.
True.
Mm-hmm.
There's no books here. There's no Ernest Hemingway going on right here. You have to have intuition, you have to have people skills, you have to be able to align with someone that they respect you enough to pick up the phone. Some people have the trinkets that they dangle. Some people have respect, just eye contact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Speaking of book, you got one coming out, man.
yeah.
Rocklet
Excited about that.
101.
Yeah, Jay, it was weird because I was going through just picking, the publisher or whatnot, and I happened to see it on Twitter. So I called Jay. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? You start. He was like, oh, I didn't even know. I said, listen, you had to step up if you want my book, because I'm down the road. So I can't just discard what my team has worked on, but I'll give you the opportunity. We family.
Oh, so you already had it fully in play.
Oh yeah, I was all the way down the road for sure. Yeah, but to Ho's credit, he's like, let me call you back.
Got competitive.
Yeah, they called me back, and he was like, I'm stepping up, and that's how it's supposed to go, right? That's what we get in these positions for. Yeah, and so you got to try to keep leading by example. When you can work with your people, work with them, especially if they're capable of doing the job.
To start with the end, totally agree with him. No, totally agree with him. You got to work with your people.
Yeah.
Whether that people is whoever aligns with you vision-wise, but also however they align with you.
Yeah. It's but they need to show that they can pull their own weight too.
Of course, of
That's
course.
also important. Yeah.
I mean,
So
everyone has to pull their own weight
yeah.
before you can, of course, go into business with them.
Yes, yes.
Want to say something about subscribers?
Yes, guys, we have a goal to reach 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. We have 6 more months to go, 6 or 7 months. A lot of you guys are watching the show but aren't really subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. We have approximately this particular point 850 to go. So if the unless Google, unless YouTube Analytics is lying to us, then we have to believe that if everyone that's rewatching the shows and the videos subscribe, we'll be there in a week. So please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to us.
Yes, yes, yes. And don't forget to press on that notification bell, so you're always up to date when we post new clips or lives. RJ, do you have a recap?
Yes, guys, in today's show, we talked about Rich Paul, mostly known as the super agent Rich Paul, a super agent, an agent, sports agent, who has his own company together with LeBron James called KLUTCH Sports Group. We talked about, didn't mention this, but he's also, I don't know if it's still, I think they're still in relationship with Adele, the singer Adele. So that's a highlight I didn't mention. But it was a very we discussed a an interview done by Interval
Intervals presents.
Interval Presents, where Rich Paul basically made a rare appearance to talk about some developments, to talk about his growth. And I say rare because he's not usually one to talk. You don't see him that often, but he's probably making a tour at this particular moment because he's going to launch a book. So he's probably doing some marketing for that as well. But we discussed in this show some interesting clips of his philosophy as it pertains to life, and as it pertains to uh, being a sports agent. And you can basically see that he goes the extra mile to focus on the athletes, not to just try to get them the best possible contracts now, but to make sure that also they have the right disciplines, the right habits in place in order to ensure success, both now as well as post their career. You see that Rich Paul believes in discipline. He believes in doing things the right way, and he takes his time very, very seriously. I think it's anyone interested in business, any entrepreneur, anyone who has a business or are interested in entrepreneurial topics can get a lot from this interview. And just by following Rich Paul, probably it would be probably good to get his book as well. But yeah, we're not being paid to promote it, but we're promoting it anyway due to the fact that we believe that he is that you're probably. I mean, there's something to be learned there. Can you show it again, KR?
Of course, of course. Red
Yes.
Ball. We can donate later on, you know.
Yeah. So it's called Lucky Me, a memoir of changing the odds. You can, although it will be launched in October, October 17th,
Yep.
you can pre-order.
Order it right now.
Yeah, you can pre-order it, order it right now. So Make
Yeah,
sure,
I think I'll pre-order it.
yeah, make sure you guys get it. I'm gonna pre-order it as well. I mean, a lot of people write a lot of books, but you want to read it from someone. You want to read books from someone who has actually. So if you're gonna read, so this is my philosophy. If you're going to read something about, if I want to learn something, I want to learn something from someone who actually did it, not necessarily someone who did it by writing the book, if it makes any sense.
What are you talking about? Certain pills?
Gurus. No, I'm talking about I'm talking about gurus who only became gurus because
Because they wrote about it.
they wrote about it and didn't
They
do it.
told you the dream.
Yeah. But in Rich Paul Skills, you've seen him do
See
it.
the results, man.
You're seeing him doing it as well. At the beginning, they said it was LeBron who was carrying him, but I think he proved everyone wrong. He proved that he can pull his own weight. So, guys, if you haven't done so, go check out the book. I'm gonna give me a copy for sure, man. But yeah, that's a quick review of today's show. And with that being said, guys, we want to thank you for tuning in to the dice to into our show of today. Whatever your thoughts are, please let us know in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to our channel. It's the most important thing that you can do for us. Rate the show by pressing the like button. Don't forget to follow us on our social media as well. That's you can find us at Double Touch Show on Facebook, Instagram, and recently also on not Twitter. Oh, maybe we should consider Twitter, but TikTok. We're on TikTok right now. As KaiR always says at the end of the show,
But I can only show you the door.
And behind the door, you might be lucky enough if your habits can help you change the odds.
yes, yes. Oh, I see what you did there. Yes. Let's have a healthy conversation in the comment section below. Let us know if you agree with us or if you don't agree with us. And for the haters or trolls, please comment as well because they do help us with the
Engage.
algorithm. We'll see each other in the next one. It's been a pleasure. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.